Hello friends, welcome to Gentlemen Cadet Academy GCA. Hope you all are doing good and preparing well for your upcoming SSB. So today the video is regarding a very important, a high level and the latest hot topic, the Pakistan-Afghanistan conflict. So in this video I'm gonna cover each and everything, but everything will be covered in crisp form. So before this I have made a couple of high level topics as well as the international relations topic. If you want to watch all these videos, the link of the playlist is available in the I button. So like always, without wasting any time, let us start. So starting with the video, the Afghanistan-Pakistan conflict is one of the most complex and long-standing geopolitical challenges in South Asia. And unlike a simple border dispute, it involves a combination of factors which include historical grievances, militant activity, tribal loyalties, regional strategic interest, and as well as the international diplomacy. So in October 2025, the tensions escalated again, which remind us how fragile peace along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border is. And this conflict does not just impact the Pakistan and Afghanistan region, but it has a significant strategic and economic consequences for India and the entire South Asian region. And to fully understand this conflict, we need to look at its historical roots, recent developments, and ongoing challenges, as well as what it means for India and broader strategic landscape. And by the end of this video, you will have a complete understanding of why this conflict persists. So let us first talk about the historical background. So the origin of this conflict stretched back over a century. In 1893, the British colonial administration they drew the Durand Line to define the border between British India and Afghanistan. And this line was intended to separate spheres of influence and provide administrative clarity. However, it has been disputed by Afghanistan ever since. And even after Pakistan inherited this border in 1947, Afghanistan refused to formally recognize it. So, this unresolved boundary dispute has remained a permanent source of tension, affecting relations between two countries to this day. And fast forward to 1996, the Taliban emerged as a militant Islamist group in Afghanistan and quickly captured significant territory. Pakistan officially supported Taliban, providing political backing and logistical support, while the Afghanistan's government and several neighboring countries they strongly opposed the Taliban's rule. So this created mistrust, competition, and environment for instability. And after the tragic events of 9/11 attacks in 2001, the United States they invaded Afghanistan and removed Taliban from power. However, Pakistan's position as a US ally complicated cross-border militancy as Afghan and Pakistani forces they struggled to manage insurgent groups along the porous border. So this combination of historical grievances, tribal divisions, and international intervention has created a complex web of challenges that continues to this day. Now let us talk about the recent escalation of October 2025. So in October 2025, the long-standing conflict escalated dramatically. On 9th of October, Pakistan launched airstrikes targeting leaders of Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan (TTP), including their top commanders as they claimed. So the strikes occurred in Kabul, Khost, Jalalabad, Paktika, and were reportedly in response to a series of attacks within Pakistan that caused casualties and threatened national security. So this is what Pakistan claimed. Then the Afghan Taliban they retaliated between 11 and 12th October, attacking Pakistani military posts along the border. So these clashes were intense, involving heavy exchange of fire, artillery, and local insurgents, resulting in significant casualties on both the sides. So, as per some reports, it indicates that Pakistan lost approximately 200 people, including 29 soldiers, and Afghanistan 58 security personnel killed and 37 civilians, and also two senior leaders of TTP reportedly killed. This is claimed by Pakistan. And also, the border crossings of Torkham and Chaman were temporarily closed, halting trade, transportation, and civilian movement. So, following several days of heavy conflict, both the countries they agreed to a ceasefire on 19th October during talks in Doha, with the goal of reducing further fighting and establishing a frame for long-term peace. So, this episode basically highlights how quickly tensions can escalate and how local militant actions can rapidly develop into a larger international incidents with consequences for civilian, trade, and regional stability. Now, let us talk about the causes of the conflict, why this conflict persisted for so long. So, the very first reason is cross border militancy. Pakistan accuses Afghanistan of providing support to TTP, who use Afghan territory to plan and execute attacks inside Pakistan. On the other side, Afghanistan denies this. But the ongoing presence of these militant groups keeps tensions high. Then the second reason is territorial disputes. So the Durand Line still remains contested, and Afghanistan's refusal to recognize it formally means that border is never fully settled. Then the third reason is ethnic and tribal dynamics. So the Pashtun population lives on both sides of the border, and militancy can exploit these loyalties, complicating peace efforts. And the fourth is strategic interest. So Pakistan aims to maintain influence in Afghanistan for security and political reasons, while Afghanistan seeks sovereignty and internal stability. So competing strategic objectives between two countries have ensured that mistrust and hostility remain high. Now, moving forward, let us now talk about the implications for India and the recent impact. So, the Pakistan Afghanistan conflict is not confined to the borders of these two countries, but it has direct and indirect consequences for India. So, the very first reason is security threats. Instability in Afghanistan can allow militant networks to regroup and potentially launch attacks on India, especially in sensitive areas such as Jammu and Kashmir. Then the second is diplomatic engagement. India has invested in humanitarian aid, development projects, and infrastructure in Afghanistan. So these efforts strengthen India's influence in Afghanistan, which provides stability and counterbalance Pakistan's regional ambitions. Then the third region is regional stability. A peaceful Afghanistan is critical for trade, security, and political balance in South Asia. So India's strategic and economic interests are closely tied to developments in Afghanistan, which makes understanding this conflict essential for policymakers and defense planners. Now, let us talk about the recent impact on India. So, the recent October 2025 escalation has immediate implications on India. The very first reason is refugee crisis. Fighting and border closures displaced many civilians. Some may attempt to seek refuge in India, creating humanitarian challenges and potential security risks. Second is trade disruptions. So, Afghanistan and Pakistan are a part of key trade and supply routes connecting South and Central Asia. So, closed border affect commerce, regional economies, and logistical networks. Then, the third is strategic realignment. So, India must adjust its defense posture, intelligence operations, and diplomatic strategies to respond to changing dynamics along the Pakistan Afghanistan border. So, these adjustments are crucial for maintaining national security and regional influence. So, finally, moving to the conclusion part. So, the Pakistan Afghanistan conflict is much more than a simple territorial dispute. It involves terrorism, tribal loyalties, regional influence, and diplomacy. And the October 2025 ceasefire is only temporary, and the underlying issues remain unresolved. So, continuous diplomatic engagement is needed, and stability in Afghanistan and Pakistan directly affects India's security, trade, and geopolitical influence. India must maintain a balance of humanitarian aid, strategic planning, and defense readiness to protect national interest. So, this conflict reminds us that borders, strategy, and diplomacy are deeply interconnected. So, friends, this is all about the crisp analysis of the Pakistan Afghanistan conflict. I have tried to keep this video as short as possible. And if you have SSB in the coming days, this is one of the important topic. So, prepare this topic well. And in this video, I have basically covered the data keeping lecture it in mind. But if you watch this video 2-3 times, you will be able to deeply understand the conflict, and you will be able to answer questions in the personal interview also. So, friends, I hope this video will be helpful for you. So until then, keep learning, keep preparing, keep watching, and keep supporting. Thank you, and best of luck for your upcoming SSB. Jai Hind.